Parkour is one of the most accessible sports out there. You don't need equipment, you don't need a fixed setup, you don't even need a gym membership. With just your body, some creativity and the world around you, you can get started with parkour. This keeps it fun, accessible and low cost. But how do you actually get started with parkour? There are 6 essential tips that you need to know that I'm going to break down in today's video to help you start your parkour journey. So the first thing that you should do when starting parkour is mastering the fundamentals. The fundamentals are a key pillar of parkour movements, and by mastering them, it opens up a whole new world of opportunities within your training. Fundamental movements can be broken down into the following list: jumping, rolling, vaulting, swinging, climbing, landing. And if you wanted to, you can learn some acrobatic moves as well. Learning the fundamentals can help build confidence within your movement and training. It also helps reduce the risk of injury. It also creates a strong foundation for more complex movements. And those parkour clips that you see on Instagram or see on YouTube, they're all building on those foundational movements seen within parkour. There are a number of different ways that you can learn the fundamentals of parkour. You can attend a parkour class, you can visit a parkour gym, you can have one-to-one sessions with a coach, or you can search up on YouTube. There are tons of tutorials out there, and there will be some landing on this channel very, very soon. You should always be looking at training those fundamentals, whether you're just starting out with parkour or you've been doing parkour for a number of years. The fundamental movements are so important for the activity and the movement that we do. That's number 1, let's move on to number 2. So number 2 is be safe. Scout and understand your environment. Parkour is all about adapting to different spaces. Knowing the area that you're training in, knowing the objects that you're jumping to, will help boost your confidence and creativity when training. To get started, familiarize yourself with what's around you. Maybe you're like somewhere here like a parkour park where there's lots of rails, there's lots of blocks, there's lots of walls, or maybe you're visiting the local town centre. Scout the environment, see what's about, and see where you can train. You can also search if there is a local parkour park or a parkour gym in your area. Another way to do this is you can also search parkour followed by your hometown on YouTube. With the growth of the sport, there are so many videos coming out all the time. When I started parkour, I went onto YouTube and I searched Horsham parkour, and what I found was so many videos showcasing some of the most known spots in Horsham. This of course then inspired me to go out and practice at those places too. It's also important for you to be safe. Make sure the equipment that you're moving around, jumping to, is safe. Are there any loose bricks? Is there any broken glass on the floor? Is anything not structurally okay? It's really important for your safety and for the safety of the other people around you to check your surfaces. Like here, for example, I know it's been raining overnight, so I know the grass is going to be wet. I know some of the objects aren't going to be as grippy as I would like them to be. So I would take extra precautions and I would test the surfaces and make sure it's all okay. Also, on top of that, respect your environment. Clean up after you've been there, don't leave rubbish lying around, just be a nice human being. You may also get questions from random people in the public asking what you're doing. Don't be hostile about this, they're just interested, they may not have seen what parkour is. Use that opportunity to educate them, and if you make really good relationships with the public, it's going to make your training a lot easier. Moving on to number 3. Number 3 is practice consistency and progressively. No one is magically good at parkour when they get started. You have to train, build your skills, and progress slowly over time. Progression should be gradual, and remember, progression fluctuates. To begin with, you may feel like you're making loads of progress, and then when that stops, you might lose motivation. So it's important to set achievable goals and have some challenges in mind. Slowly work towards them and celebrate those small wins. Try and avoid pushing too hard and too quick. I remember when I started parkour back in 2012, I was making progress really quick, and I kind of got addicted to that quick progress that I was making, and then I kind of hit a bit of a brick wall, figuratively, not physically. But going back to point 1, I was mastering those fundamentals, and that allowed me to push further within my training, and that's why I'm still doing it 12 years later. Consistent practice rather than quick gains leads to lasting improvement. Don't rush, take it slow, keep yourself safe. So number 4 is to learn to fall, fail and adapt. Falling and failing is all part of parkour, and in the last 12 years I've had my fair share of falls and fails. I'm actually coming from a really significant injury at the moment as a result of a fail. You should embrace falling and failing and use it as a lesson rather than trying to run away from it. Treat each failed attempt as a learning process. Only you know really where your limits are, and by learning to fall and fail safely, you can continue to progress your training. Also, it goes without saying, but don't do anything under pressure. Parkour isn't about showing off. It's not about getting the best Instagram clip to share on Instagram. It's not about showing off to the people walking past. It's all about you and how you move and how you train. Like I said, only you know where your limits are. The only thing that's more embarrassing than failing the parkour jump that you said that you were going to do is failing that parkour jump and hurting yourself really significantly. Have a positive mindset to barriers and setbacks and embrace them. You should also learn some safety movements within parkour. One of my favourite moves in parkour is called the bounce off, and essentially it's where you jump to the side or to the edge of a wall. And to me, this has really helped progress my training, because not only is it allowing me to kind of push my limits in a safe way, but it's also helping me build that confidence to go for these moves and these challenges that I want to do. I will be posting a tutorial on the bounce back on this channel very soon, but there's already a couple on YouTube that you can check out. It's one of the most important moves in parkour, and it's one that I swear by. Let's move on to number 5. So number 5 is to join the community, and we're very specific on using the term community within parkour. Parkour communities offer support, guidance and motivation, and it's also one of the best ways to learn. As a growing sport, many towns and cities have people that train and practice parkour, and with its growth in line with social media, it's now easier more than ever to connect with the parkour community nationally, locally or worldwide. Search social media to see if there's anyone training parkour either in your local town or city or the next town over. Also, like I said in one of the points earlier on, search YouTube as well. Also, if you can, make your way to community jams and events. Growing your connections and getting involved in the community is one of the best ways to learn and progress. The vast majority of my best friends are from parkour, and I've met them at parkour events, parkour jams, parkour community sessions, and I've learned so much from them. Learning from others helps accelerate growth, and it also introduces people to different ideas, different training tips and different techniques. And community within parkour is one of the reasons I've stayed doing it. I love meeting up with my friends, I love traveling to new places, like I've started visiting different parkour parks to make videos on them, and I just love the community so much, and without the community I don't think parkour would be as big as it is. Obviously it goes without saying, sometimes you may not have a local community, but you can still reach out to other people, save your pennies and see if you can make a trip. Some of the best communities are in Bristol, Brighton, London, but you'll find a lot of smaller communities within the UK as well. On the topic of finding things, there's one more thing that you need to find for tip number 6. So point number 6, the final point on this list, is to find a parkour coach, a parkour park or a parkour gym. Now I know not everyone is going to have a parkour park or a parkour gym in their local area. There's only a handful of parkour gyms within the UK, and there's maybe just a few more parkour parks. But if you wanted to check if you've got a parkour park or a parkour gym in your local area, if you go into the link in the description, go to the Google My Map, you will see what UK parkour parks and parkour gyms are on offer and where they are in the UK. It's important to visit parkour gyms because not only do they have a brilliant setup, but they've got inspiring and motivational coaches that are going to help you with your movement goals. If you aren't local to a parkour gym or a parkour park, then fear not. Because what you'll find is there may be individuals running parkour classes in your area already. This might be outdoor at local parkour spots, it might be at places like this, a parkour park, it might be in a school hall, it might be in a village hall, but there may be options to visit a parkour class and find a coach there. Finding a parkour coach and going to a parkour class is a really good way to advance your training and learn some new techniques. And also by finding a parkour coach, you're going to get fast track to quick progression and gains, because you've got someone sharing their knowledge with you. Many people start parkour coaching because they didn't have that guidance in their early years. And that's why I make videos like this, or I coach parkour, because I want to get as many people involved with parkour as possible. When I started, there wasn't much out there. There weren't any parkour classes for me to visit. There weren't many videos online. And that's why I always encourage people to use YouTube or to find a coach online or to visit a parkour gym, because it is a brilliant way to learn more about parkour in a safe way. So those were 6 tips to help you get started with parkour. I hope you guys found it useful, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'd also be interested to hear if you have any questions or comments down below. I'm more than happy to help offer tips and guidance for anyone to get started with parkour. If you also know anyone that wants to start parkour, please share this video with them. Not only does it help the channel, but it also helps other people get started with parkour. I love this sport so much and I just want to see it grow and develop, and that's why I make videos like this. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Take care and I'll see you soon.